unfortunately, it's become like the new norm for August since all the wildfire smoke.
Yeah, it's horrible. I mean, this was the 3rd August in a row that the summer has been ruined. So put out the fire, just from a health point of view. I mean, we really need to address this.
Yeah, I mean, hazardous air, they call it that for a reason. And people in our community, runny eyes and coughing, and it was just this prolonged period. I went to the store one day when it was, you know, looked as if it was foggy out, but it was smoke. And the air purifiers were just gone.
Yeah, yeah. And in fact, one of my wife's friends, we were having this conversation that she was thinking about scheduling her vacation for August now just to escape the wildfire, which kind of goes back to what you said. August, that's the good time in Spokane traditionally, and now folks are looking to go somewhere else because the smoke has just been so bad.
Yeah, and it's really going to hurt, you know, tourism as well, because you have so many people, because our summers are so wonderful and we have so many beautiful lakes. People, you know, coming up to go to Coeur d'Alene and Priest Lake and all the smaller lakes, and, you know, they're just going to stop coming, and people are going to take off because of that smoke. And this is solvable. You know, just put out the fire.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get in August this next year without wildfire smoke.
That would be great.
So much of the focus on our border is on our southern border and not so much on our northern border, which we're like 90 miles from here in Spokane. So we just wanted to look into what is Border Patrol doing here, and we found they're actually working in Spokane. And one of the things they do is bus checks. So at the Intermodal Center, they'll go to the Intermodal Center and board Greyhound buses and ask people on board the buses 2 simple questions. What country are you a citizen and where are you heading? So we did that story just about the work they're doing down here. It's work they're permitted to do by federal law. And then the story kind of took a life of its own. The ACLU took issue with it, kind of seeing it as a warrantless search, a 4th Amendment issue. The city of Spokane recently passed an ordinance basically saying, look, we don't support this work you're doing on the Intermodal Center. We wish that you wouldn't do it. But kind of federal law kind of trumps any kind of
Yeah, they're
local,
allowed to search anywhere 100 miles from the border.
Within 100 miles of the border.
And we're 90.
So federal law trumps what the city is saying and what they, you know, created this resolution for. So it's kind of this issue that both sides are still trying to hash out, and it's really taking a life of its own. So.
And the Border Patrol agents, they're just doing their job.
Correct.
You know, the ones that we're interviewing. But yeah, this is,
you have one side,
much wider
you have one side saying this is an illegal search, and the Border Patrol saying, no, it's not, we're just doing our job. One side saying you're targeting a certain group of people, are saying, no, we ask everyone the same questions. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out.
One of the other top click stories of the year on KREM.com was about a Spokane area mom who hemorrhaged during childbirth. So I talked to her, and I was doing a series on maternal mortality and the fact that the United States has a higher mortality rate for women giving birth compared to other countries. It's kind of crazy. So we were looking into that. I found a Spokane mom who actually hemorrhaged during childbirth. She was hemorrhaging for an hour and a half, and the doctor could not figure out why. Finally, they got the bleeding to stop, but she had lost a lot of blood, and she wanted to share her story because the fact of the matter is she had information, given her experience, about questions you should ask when you are giving birth. Like, how many people are on staff if I go into labor overnight? Do you have a protocol for hemorrhaging? Because not all hospitals do. So it's kind of these questions that you don't know to ask until you know to ask. And she had the story that kind of highlighted, yeah, you should ask.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I think kind of the thought among a lot of mothers in the U.S. is, we're in the U.S., of course. I'm going to be taken care of. I don't need to worry about this. But the takeaway from that story was you got to be your own advocate and ask these questions and make sure that these protocols are in place.
Absolutely.
From hospital to hospital.
Yes, it's not all standard everywhere. You have to ask the questions on your own behalf.
That was an important story.
And that story got picked up by People magazine, actually.
Right.
And so she's spreading the word, which is good.
It was the fall of 2017. There was obviously the tragic shooting at Freeman High School where one student was killed and then 3 other students were injured in this shooting. And the 3 students who were injured have since recovered.
they have, and not only that, they've kind of been in the forefront of some big events, kind of showing everybody that they're okay and they're stronger than ever. They started Bloomsday, for example.
Which is a big deal.
Which is a big deal, yeah. And it's just, it's lovely for us to be able to see them now emerging from this tragedy and just being able to see that they're okay and celebrate them.
And to see kind of the community support of them is really cool as well. I mean, you see the signs across, the bumper stickers and the stickers across town, the Freeman Strong ones. And this is kind of, I think, you know, something that's kind of follows along that line, just the community support of them.
It's great to see that, you know, that the whole Spokane now, and the whole inland Northwest really, has become Freeman Strong. And as you were mentioning, these girls are just amazing, and they're back out there, and as you said, living their life and not being held back, and great things are going to come from these kids.
I think, Tom, they were at an event that you were at.
Yeah, they were at the Sacred Heart Children's Hospital Kids at Heart Luncheon, and they spoke there as well, and they're very good speakers, and it was just wonderful, and there was a lot of love at that particular luncheon, and it was nice to be part of that.